Press the bell icon and never miss any updates from India Forums.
Karan Kundrana's real-life girlfriend is all set for Love School Season 3. Let's talk about their relationship and about the show. So tell me guys, how much love is there in your relationship?
I haven't paid him yet to say anything.
I think there's got to be a lot of love. तभी हम
Especially, yeah, oh my god. He's driving me insane today. You know,
Yeah,
imagine
yeah,
doing
yeah.
10,000 interviews sitting next to him. He's so temperamental, no? Up and down with his mood swings and all. Go, you talk on me. Yeah.
Yes,
Oh,
love. welcome to Love School Season 3. There's a lot of love. There's a lot of understanding actually. There's a lot of friendship. And I don't have to pretend to be somebody else with her, which was lacking in my previous relationships because इतनी expectations मेरे ऊपर थोपी गई थी कि आपको ऐसा होना चाहिए या ऐसा होना चाहिए, वो सब नहीं है. So there's a comfort level, but not a stagnant sort of a comfort level. I can be myself, and the fact is कि अगर वो मैं 25-26 दिन हम लोग एक साथ शूट करें तो एक दिन के लिए गई थी बॉम्बे और वापस आई तो मैं उसको लेने गया था 5:30 बजे because that's how much I don't know if that's called missing or is it because I'm so happy to see her back. And so these are the things that prove to me sometimes कि अरे यहाँ प्यार होगा पक्का.
So for me, I think love is the fact that I'm such an independent girl. I've been raised that way. Since I'm 15, I've been working, earning my own money. I'm standing on my own 2 feet. That's how my mum and dad taught me. And suddenly I meet a guy who is...
Not just any guy.
who is, well, let's just say different. And, where I, pack
It's
his...
called sexy, not different.
I pack his bags. I get up to make him tea sometimes. I do all of these
She
things.
wipes my makeup off when I come back home tired.
Yeah, when he comes home from a shoot, I'll wipe his makeup off. I'll, make sure he's got the right shoes. I'll keep his clothes ready
Like
for him.
yesterday she was packing my bag for my shoot and she's adding those protein bars होते हैं, and then she's like I'm going for 2 hours man, I'm coming back, and she's like हाँ. And then I realized that when I went to the set I was really hungry, and then all I had at that time was the protein bar. I was like,
And then he was snapping at me. He was snapping at me. He snaps at me, but when I'm doing all of these things and, he's impatient and obviously he's shooting and he's not sleeping. But to take all of that, even though that I'm such an independent woman and I've always just done things by myself and now suddenly I'm living for somebody else also is love for me.
Yeah.
And I'm
So
taking
basically
it.
our definition of love is pretty much the same. अगर हम एक दूसरे को झेल पा रहे हैं, it's got to be love. MTV का तो कोई नहीं है ना.
नहीं.
देखो मैं पैसे मिल रहे हैं.
Karan.
I think
No, definitely. You get frustrated because you want them to be okay, and
Yeah.
sometimes you feel a little helpless.
Like on Love School, there are certain things that are so obvious now because we've grown up and
Yeah.
we've seen, and I would tell this guy कि बेटा नहीं होने वाला तेरा इस लड़की के साथ, मतलब and it's not gonna be her fault. You are an idiot because you are with a girl who's probably not gonna value you after a bit. हमें ये दिख रहा है क्योंकि हमारे पास experience है. We've been in relationships and we know what works and what doesn't work. So it doesn't, उनको समझ नहीं आती because they're young, they're in love, they're kids.
Yeah.
And then finally they realize that what मैं फिर उसको बोलता मैं पहले दिन से क्या फारसी बोल रहा था, यही तो बोल रहा था.
But I think on that front also, not only is it frustrating because of those reasons, it's also very educational for us.
Yeah.
Because as you're giving advice to these people, you're
Sometimes
suddenly
yeah.
realizing like, oh my God, I have to do that. Why aren't I doing that?
That happened in season 2 and 3 with us, but also sometimes especially in this season I learnt a lot from the contestants as well, because कभी-कभी जो होता है ना ये youngsters, see what happens is we've lived our lives to a point where now we become very we've set our rules,
Yeah.
we've set our personalities, and these kids are still forming their rules and personalities about love, about life. And sometimes they come up with such different perspectives
Yeah.
to something जो कि हमने पहले ही जज करके रखा हुआ है, and we're like, oh yeah, ये तो हम भूल ही गए थे, ऐसी भी तो होता था, ये भी तो चीजें होती थी. So that was like an eye opener for me.
I think it's also interesting that when you're young in love, you're so focused on everybody else's relationships. Like, oh, look at those. Like they would always say, oh, you two are such couple goals, But it's funny that they don't concentrate on themselves. They're so worried about everything else. We'll be formal with that.
Yeah, there are people
You know,
who are
that fear of
following
missing
us.
out because they're suddenly like, oh, they look so good. Why can't we be like that?
Yeah, and they
Why
start
can't we do?
copying,
Yeah.
You know, अभी Anusha kept telling them that कि अगर हमारी कोई ऐसे उठपटांग सी कोई फोटो इंटरनेट पे होती तो उसका ये मतलब नहीं है कि हम उठपटांग हरकतें करते हुए पोज कर रहे थे इसलिए फोटो किसी ने खींची इसलिए वो वहाँ पे चली गई
Yeah.
and they start to copy that. Understand that we are having fun together, we are pulling each other's leg, and that's what
Why
got
the photo?
captured,
Yeah.
and not that you have to stage it. So a lot of people do that, which is kind of deceiving for them.
But I think the one big lesson that we learnt was when you see the couples and they're irritating each other, you're like, oh, I don't want to be like that. Okay, I am learning.
Yeah.
Like, they're so hyperactive with each other, or they're so like.
Boys can be controlling, girls
Boys-
can be irritating,
And you learn that also. Me and Karan would like give each other signals like, oh my god, never.
And also
never.
we learned that Goa has too much prawns. And bus
Yeah.
ho gayi thi, 1 month, all I had was prawns. I felt like one.
You look kind of like a prawn right now.
You look like an angel.
Thank
I think...
Because Karan and I are there.
No, they're asking us why are
Why?
we a part of it.
Oh, because we are there, because this show is amazing. No. I think season 3, because it's really different.
I also think that, there are a lot of shows on television right now, that are doing the same thing for so many years. Love School, on the other hand, is trying to do something which is path-breaking. We are trying to not preach here, but we are trying to tell millennials that, it's okay
Yeah,
to be
to
doing
feel.
certain things. It's okay to, exactly to
To
feel.
feel.
A lot of people don't even understand what relationships are, and they are like, for example, there are kids who have been in a relationship for 4, 5 years.
Yeah.
I mean, kids भी नहीं, मतलब हमसे 2-4 साल ही छोटे हैं वो लोग. But you realize that they don't know each other's compatibilities या priorities क्या हैं एक दूसरे की वो मालूम नहीं है. So I feel after season 2, I really feel that we made a difference, and this is a real difference.
Yeah.
Relationships are an important part of your life, and if you can ace that part of your life, you can do other things very well.
I think also what this season has to offer is that everyone always sets these ground rules that you have to be in this type of relationship. It has to be like this. It has to be like that. And we at Love School are telling you, no, it doesn't. Because let's just say our priorities, Karan and I have priority. 1 is work, 2 is family, maybe 3
And
is
also
love.
our
That's
media
okay. One second.
itself-
Love is okay to be number 3 as long as you are okay with it. It's not that it has to be number 1 just because we're in love. So
Yeah.
everyone has to stop setting rules in their relationship. I think they
Expectations, benchmarks, and everything. Again, as I said, our media is portraying a very typical good love. There's no real portrayal of love in our country. Only a few movies would come in which will actually show you what love is. I think there's no other person or no other show or no other channel that is doing something like this. We are actually showing what reality is. As Anusha said, expectations इतनी नहीं होनी चाहिए. Real रखना ज़्यादा ज़रूरी होता है, and that is what a relationship is actually.
And people should know there's no script, there's no actors, they're all real stories, real people. It was so much fun. We were in Goa for a month.
I
Boy-
got burnt. She's
Boy, did
still
we get a
beautiful.
lovely tan.
मेरा तो फोन नहीं पहचान रहा था मेरे को.
I think it was kind of romantic in the sense that, the Goa feel is always romantic.
I think one of the main reasons, as you asked before, why did I sign this show, because I got to be with her in a 1 month setup where we're not doing anything else but working and being together.
Okay, who is more romantic?
I am.
Right?
तूने क्या किया लाइफ में रोमांटिक आज तक?
Actually,
एयरपोर्ट तेरा मामा उठाने आया था तेरे को?
yeah, no, that was, okay, maybe.
That's it.
I'm
करता हूँ चीज़ें मैं.
I'm materialistically romantic. He is
Genuinely romantic.
Genuinely romantic. No, what?
अरे अभी तो बोला तूने.
Oh, he's so manipulative.
Yes.
He's oh my god. What?
Welcome to my world, baby.
He's genuinely
Romantic.
no wait.
Yes, I am genuinely.
He's
romantic.
emotionally more romantic. Oh, you messed it up for me. I'm romantic. I'll get him gifts all the time because that's how I know how to be
I'll
romantic.
do things for her.
Like he'll show up at the airport, not sleep all night just to come and pick me up.
Okay.
Different types of romance.
Oh wait,
No,
can I just
absolutely.
say something? This is his romance. So Christmas, I got him these shoes actually, and I'm like, Merry Christmas. I said, where's my present? He's like, I am your present. That was a serious. No, that was a serious answer. He wasn't even kidding. So I was looking at him, waiting for him to laugh or something, and he's like, "No, I am your present. You have me." What kind of a guy is this? He's still serious. He doesn't find it's not a joke still.
No, it's not a joke. It was never a joke. I was very serious.
Okay.
Do you believe that every relationship needs a marriage tag after a certain time period spent together?
I don't think anyone needs to sign a paper for any kind of certificate of love. If you're in love, happiness should prevail in all aspects. You know, in your communication, in your physical, in your mental, in your supporting each other.
I mean, I ask you guys, what difference does it make? What is it a legal, you know, binding कि हाँ चल ठीक है अब हमें छुप छुप के नहीं मिलना पड़ेगा? Is that why you get married? Why are youngsters getting married these days? What are the reasons? What changes after marriage?
You know, I think
Same.
yeah,
Same.
it's
So it's
supposed
just-
to be the same.
I don't live for the society. The society doesn't pay my bills. The society doesn't feed
But
me.
nobody understands this.
I don't care.
There are very few people.
But who cares?
How do you react when after
Do they-
being
okay, is my bank balance suffering if they don't care? Is my family going to leave me if they don't care? Is my work and my puppy and my girlfriend and my family is all that I'm bothered about. People who don't have lives are going to bother about these things.
So what do you prefer, live-in or a marriage?
Definitely living. Why would I want to get married?
Okay.
I'm okay with the ceremony. I don't need to sign the paper.
उसको मैं बोलूँगा ना बेबी देख मैं तेरा हम सेरेमनी करेंगे ग्रीस जाके फुल रॉयल वेडिंग करेंगे पर मैरिज शील भी हाँ उसको बस सेरेमनी चाहिए
I just want the ceremony in Greece.
उसको बस ड्रेसेस चाहिए बहुत सारे वो बच्चे चाहिए फूल फेंकते हुए ये सब चाहिए
Yeah,
और
like
कुछ
full
नहीं
on,
चाहिए
on a cliff and all, like,
हाँ
you know, forget, I don't need to sign a paper, I don't, like, what's a
वो
document?
मैं तेनू उद्दे करा दूँगा
You've been trolled a lot as a couple. Basically, your relationship is under the scanner all the time. How do you guys react, cope up with being scrutinized all the time?
I don't know why we...
I don't even cope up with myself I don't give a shit about trollers
I want to say that I never had trollers, so for me it was a very new experience. I think when you're an MTV VJ, you don't really have trollers. No one's really bothered about that because we live in a very positive, happy, bubbly world and, you know, whatever. And suddenly I have Karan Kundra's fans coming in who have been...
bubbly
Who have been
we also have a bubbly world
who have been amazing, by the way. Like, they've been so loving and they give me a lot. But then suddenly you had the other followers who were just so angry about our relationship. I don't know what it was, and I didn't understand it. I didn't understand that Kritika and Karan were so important to them because of their serial, you know. And I love Kritika. Like, we've been very good friends when we meet, and I think she's a lovely girl. Actually, I asked him once, why did you break up with her? She's so nice.
मत बोल सारे फैंस फिर से जाग जाएंगे ये इंडिया फोरम्स पे आते तो सब यहीं पे फिर से जाग जाएंगे मेरे को तो फर्क पड़ता नहीं है
But you know what I mean, like, you know,
आज शाम को कृतिका का फोन आएगा यार तुम अपनी गर्लफ्रेंड का मुंह बंद नहीं करवा सकते What is your problem?
but you know, because they don't suffer it, I do, so it's okay. I mean, I agree that they did look great together, but at the end of the day, you can't force anyone to be together. Like, I've had exes as well, but suddenly it just became this whole thing, like, you made them break up. You were the one in the middle. 6 years after they've broken up, I'm nobody to come in. I didn't even know them at all. 7 years after. And so suddenly I was at the bad end of this entire love story that they're only seeing on television. And when they saw it off screen or whatever they saw, but I wasn't even there. And suddenly I am the villain. I am this one who's great.
How you supported her that
And
time?
then I
yeah?
was like
It's
the
quite
one-
depressing.
I was always there. Initially, I didn't know it's affecting her that much. Initially, you know, I was like, why would you even care? But then, for me, you know, standing by her was also very important. Now, again, I have a very strong opinion on people who don't matter in my life. You know, I don't care about people. I am very nice to people, be it a watchman or be it a CEO. For me, it doesn't make a difference. They're all same for me. But when it came to these trollers, I stood by her whenever I needed to, you know, and I don't think I can make that a job for myself. You know, for me, they're just losers who don't have a life. I mean, how interested can you be in somebody else's life? तुम अपना देखो ना यार, मतलब क्या है?
But I do feel like there's a serious problem inside them, you know, and I think definitely they have this love for Karan and Kritika, definitely.
No,
Mostly Karan.
these are different.
No, the
people.
ones that are trolling me
There
about
are-
that.
There are other
And
very
then they
bad
turn it,
people.
and then there's people that really have a problem maybe with their lives and their insecurities,
Yeah.
and maybe just their whole entire
You know, there are
world is
fans who
different.
come and type that, you know, we would want, be it any show, be it you know, I'm doing a film 1921 with Zareen Khan. उनको वहाँ पे Kritika चाहिए. So that is fine. I mean, you know, you guys love us. That is one thing. But when they start abusing Zareen Khan is when the problem comes in. So there are people who love Karan and Kritika, Arohi, Arjun. They love KMH, all of that. I'm fine. I love them back, and they've been with me since the start of my career. But you know, when there are some of them who take it somewhere else. वो है और
Yeah,
अब
they
नए
start
अब तो
wishing
नए कुछ और हैं,
cancer.
हाँ, मतलब
They start wishing cancer. They start wishing things on my family, on my parents. On that's when you start becoming really nasty. Then you start trying to brainwash his family or my family, or start doing all these evil things. And
that's it. I
that's
mean,
when it
just-
starts becoming. It was started with the love for Karan and Kritika or whatever it
and
was.
it's not just these
And
two,
then it
these
becomes
two, it's-
evil.
yeah.
And that's what I say. But then they're probably dealing with something that's very personal in their lives, which is why they're taking it out on me.
How do you react now? I mean, obviously
so
the
before
trolls are-
I used to obviously just cry because I didn't understand it. Because I've never ever read things like this, And Hindi mein, half the time I can't even understand, but I know it's bad. And so I am showing it to him, and he got fed up. So he didn't even want to read it after a point because it's never happened to him. So for people they'd have to step into your shoes to understand what it's like to wake up to this trolling. So finally, after Troll Police, and I'm saying this on MTV, we did Troll Police, my entire world went back to normal again. And everybody saw that it's a real thing, It does bother me. I'm a human being, You think just because we're on TV that our life is just fairy tales. It's not. This affects us just like it would affect you,
Okay, next.
Seeing that.
So you mind working with Kritika again? क्योंकि फिर से सब
Why
कुछ
would I?
refresh
I
हो
don't-
सकता है and everything can be.
Nothing like that. I think.
No.
See, work is work, and I be it any amount of trollers, be it any amount of anybody, the relationship between me, Anusha, and Kritika is not gonna get affected.
Yeah.
We are friends, and
And
we'll
why
forever
wouldn't
stay
they
friends.
work together if they had an opportunity?
Yeah.
I mean, why? It's work and they work well together, I
And
would
you,
work with...
and this. I think if a hypothetical situation like this comes up, I think Anusha will be the first person to push me towards going for that.
Yeah,
you know.
I would totally. I'd be like, go for it!
Rapid fire. Advice for guy, girl when cheated upon.
And I think understand why you are cheating. अगर आप cheat कर रहे हो तो उसमें there's got to be something that is making you do that, and figure that out, and be in a relationship in which you don't want to cheat naturally, not because it is the right thing to do or the wrong thing to do.
I think if you're gonna cheat, I think you'd have to be honest with the person. I think lying about it makes it worse.
Yeah.
It makes it really hard for them to gain the trust back in you. I think that's cowardly of you, because if you had the balls to do it, then why are you suddenly a coward to now not confess it? And I think that is the biggest thing, because then you're disrespecting them even more.
Yeah.
So I think that is, now if you're already being dishonest, now it's your time to redeem. And if you don't want to be in the relationship, then be honest and say what you did and then leave.
Yeah.
Advice to quickly manaufa an angry boyfriend, girlfriend.
I think pyar se. If you have an angry boyfriend or an angry girlfriend, I think the only way you can deal with
With
something
me.
is love with him.
Like if I'm
If he's
angry, then nothing.
If
can
you scream back, there's no point. It's never going to happen. If you talk to him with love, everything will happen.
What about you?
If there's an angry girl, अरे बाप रे भागो.
So you take time
Go to
कि-
your friend's house and sleep. Yeah.
So you take time कि उसका mood cool हो, then you'll do.
No, I think it depends on the person. If that person is somebody who's rational and is angry, I think, for example, I don't know about other people, but when Anusha is angry, I just go and give her a rational explanation as to why this is happening, and then she's absolutely calm.
No, he just gives me a kiss on my head or something. and
That
then I'll
later. The kiss just starts from the forehead.
Best way to propose a girl or a guy.
Be honest. Go tell them that you like them. What's the point in dragging it along?
Yeah, I think a lot of people think that bending on the knee and you know all of that. That's
वो भी
what
अच्छा है।
movies have taught you. That's not real.
वो भी अच्छा है।
हाँ, तू कर ले।
कर दो
मैं क्यों करूँ? उसको अच्छा लगता है। वो करे।
वॉशरूम कौन है
हाँ। आज ये 2018 है. We are not we are feminists.
You're feminine.
We are not sexists. Karan Kundra, and you're watching me on India Forums. Please subscribe to their YouTube channel indiaforums.com.
Hope you guys are excited too and enjoyed this interview. And for more such updates, stay tuned to India Forums. Ashima Chavda, camera person Mangesh, India Forums, Mumbai.